Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our concert celebrating Veterans Day, presented by your United States Air Force Heritage of America Band. I'm Chief Master Sergeant Barbara Miller, the Chief Enlisted Manager for Air Combat Command Bands. It's my privilege to be your MC for this evening's performance as we salute military service. Throughout the program, I'll be thrilled to tell you more about our talented airmen, our musical selections, and our versatile Air Force. Travel more than 30,000 miles annually in support of Air Force public affairs and Air Combat Command initiatives. We tell the Air Force story in over 300 locations in the Mid-Atlantic region every year. Our 45 airmen musicians are dedicated to inspiring hearts and minds, building and sustaining American patriotism, and enhancing the esprit de corps in the United States Air Force. At this time, would you please give a warm welcome to our commander and conductor, Lieutenant Colonel Jeff Warner. Thank you. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, would you please rise for the presentation of the colors by the Alexander Central High School Naval Junior ROTC, followed by our national anthem.
Color, hold, left face, present, color. Face, forward, arch.
Thank you. Please be seated. We begin our musical program tonight with American composer Bruce Broughton's American Hero, written in 2000 and dedicated to Brigadier General Robert Scott, Jr., author of the book God is My Co-Pilot. In musical terms, American Hero represents the courage, compassion, and nobility that are hallmarks of all American heroes, whether young or old, from whatever walk of life. Thank you. you really just can't beat a good John Philip Sousa march, no opinion? That one, of course, was the Gallant Seventh, first performed almost exactly 90 years ago at the New York Hippodrome. Sousa loved to tie his music to military organizations. In this case, it was the 7th Regiment of New York. They were known for their gallantry in the service of our country. Sousa included the band of the regiment in that first performance in 1922. Next, we feature two of our virtuoso Air Force musicians, Staff Sergeant Jeff Bamer of Frederick, Maryland, and Airman First Class David Halpern of Highland Park, Illinois. Between the two of them, they have about 10 years of service in the Air Force. There's kind of a catch to that, though. Sergeant Bamer owns 9 of those years. So, Airman Halpern's just getting started. Please welcome them back to the stage as they perform Mendelssohn's Concert Piece No. 1 for 2 clarinets. Truly virtuosity in motion. Fantastic. And now, for something completely different.
Suddenly you come in time. That song is entitled Midnight Sun, and it was arranged for this ensemble by Lieutenant Colonel Warner. On that awesome tenor sax solo, we have Technical Sergeant Chris Stelling. That song tells a story of happiness and togetherness and being lost in the moment with a loved one. And as we celebrate the month of the military family, I would like to draw your attention to all of our deployed service members and their families who often miss out on those moments of togetherness. It's no doubt the deployment experience is a rough one for the entire family, and these next couple of songs I'd like to sing for you highlight that cycle of emotions that many military families endure. We would next like to feature our talented rhythm section and baritone sax player on this beautiful song entitled When Your Lover Has Gone. Always having a great time back there on the drum set, Technical Sergeant Ed Williams. Last but not least, one of our newest airmen, fresh out of basic military training from Puerto Rico on the guitar, Airman First Class Alberto Rosario. Now we're going to finish up our musical story here as deployment rotations come around and families prepare to reunite. They finally have that moment
Earlier tonight I mentioned our versatile Air Force. Well, airmen in every part of the Air Force demonstrate their versatility as they accomplish the mission. We're no different, the band. Great classical music, great jazz, all in one program. We bring that to you. That's how we demonstrate and define our versatility. Sure hope you're enjoying it so far. Throughout our history, the United States has built and sustained partnerships with key allies. One of those nations that we sustain that ally with is France. In the spirit of our partnership, we present Marche Militaire Francaise by French composer Camille Saint-Saëns. We follow that with Gandalf from Johann de Mais's First Symphony. If you've ever seen or read the Lord of the Rings trilogy, you might recognize that even through fantasy, bravery is a key component of military success. In the real world of military service, we see countless stories of bravery every day. Thank you. Before we take a brief intermission, I'd like to mention a couple of folks that I believe are in the audience tonight. Colonel Robert H. Meek, Jr. and his wife, Nancy. Colonel Meek is retired from the U.S. Army after 32 years of total service. Sir, Mrs. Meeks, are you here tonight? There they are, in the back. I also want to mention that they have two sons that are currently serving in the military as well. Let me tell you just a little bit about them for a second. Captain Robert H. Meek III is in the Army. He's stationed at Baumholder in Germany, but he's currently deployed to Afghanistan. First Lieutenant David Meek is a U.S. Air Force intelligence officer stationed at Robins Air Force Base in Georgia. He's currently deployed right now as well to Southwest Asia. Sir, ma'am, we thank you for your service, and we thank you also for the service of your sons. Thank you. At this time, we will take a 15-minute intermission, and then we'll be back with some more great music. We'll see you in a few minutes. Thank you. Welcome back, everybody. You might notice we gained a few players at the intermission. We'll tell you more about them in just a few minutes. But first, it gives me great pleasure to be able to introduce to you, or to bring to the stage for you, a longtime friend of this band, a longtime friend of the Air Force, a longtime friend of mine, Chief Master Sergeant retired Ben Hines. Sir.
What I would like to do is share a little story with you. And you might wonder, how is it so that we have the band here like this? Air Force, Langley Air Force Base, experts in their field. Can you all agree with me on that? The year was 1990. The North Carolina Association of Registered Deeds was meeting up in Asheville. So I'm driving by exit 50. I go in, and that's the Biltmore Motel. I see this big bus. It's got United States Air Force written on it. I thought, I just wondered what they're doing here. So I go down to the motel. It's where the band was staying that year, 1990. I met this lady. Her name was Barbara Hill. And I asked her about this. What were they doing there? They're performing concerts in that area. And I asked her, how do we go about getting you to come to our little town called Taylorsville, Alexander County? So she told me I needed to fill out a form. And so she sent it to me, got my phone number, and 2 years later, on Veterans Day, 1992, the band performed in this very building. No, not this building. The school here. And what it was is I brought along one of the programs from that year, 1992, and Lowell Graham, Lieutenant Colonel Lowell Graham, was the conductor that year. But anyway, they performed for us, and they performed for us on several occasions. One year down at Wittenberg School, they performed the first half in their regular attire. Then when they came back in the Army attire of the Glenn Miller era. And they played the Glenn Miller music on that second half. And that was, I don't have the year of it, but it was somewhere since 1992. But anyway, I've had a chance to meet and know Barbara Hill then. She's more now. It's just Miller. So that's how quick I forgot. But anyway, she's here with us as Chief Master Sergeant. She was there as the Staff Sergeant. Hill, Barbara Hill. But today she's a chief, and she's going to retire this next year. But that's a long journey, y'all. we're talking about 22 years that she's been with the band. I've been with you guys here in the county, and we've lived a pretty long journey. And it's just such an honor to get to have them come and be with us here. And I wanted to say a few words before our vice chairman of our county commission. He's going to come forward and say some words. He's going to make a presentation. But I'd like to do this before he comes. I'd like to get Gerald Broughton to please stand. Gerald Broughton is out there somewhere. He was there in the Battle of Iwo Jima. And he's here today, and I think we need to pay honor to all those that served in World War II, especially in that Iwo Jima area, when they had no idea that they'd make it back off of that island. But Gerald is here, he's very active, and I just think he needs that recognition. So without further ado, we're going to bring our vice chairman of our county commission here to say some words. He's going to talk a little bit, and then we're going to go back to this fine performance of the United States Air Force Heritage of America Band that has supported us since 1990. Thank you.
For those of you who do not know me, I am Berkey Jennings, the Vice Chairman of the County Commission. Ben had asked me to ask if there are any former public officials, county commissioners, or mayors in attendance. I don't see them from here because the lights are real bright. Are there any former county commissioners or mayors here? If there are, any stand up? None? I guess I'm the only one. Oh, there is one. Who is it?
Norris Keemer.
Norris Keemer. Norris, glad to have you here. Norris is one of my predecessors on the county commission. And Ben, I promise I'll do the short version of speaking too, because it's been known to be long-winded. But it is a pleasure to have Ben ask me, and I didn't realize I was going to have to stand up and read this proclamation, but I am very proud to do so as being a veteran of the Vietnam era, serving in the Navy at the time, and a member of the American Legion Post 170 here in Tazewell. And I was telling the Colonel that this band sounds just a little bit better than the Tazewell High School band that I played back in the 60s, but a whole lot better than I. So it's a pleasure to hear you, and thanks for being here. This is a proclamation that was actually going to be delivered by a retired Lieutenant Colonel Ginger Annis of the United States Air Force, who could not be here tonight because of an illness in her family. So I'm going to read it as it was written for her to read. It's a proclamation, and it reads like this. Whereas the United States Air Force Heritage of America Band, under the leadership of Lieutenant Colonel Jeffrey Warner, is deserving of the highest honors for its outstanding performance on the evening of November 13th, 2012, and for the County of Alexander, Tazewell, North Carolina, and whereas the Heritage of America Band performs many concerts throughout the eastern United States each year, receiving much critical acclaim for its versatility and ability to adapt its program into the music preferences of the audiences. And whereas the people of Alexander County and the United States are justly proud of the talents and energy displayed by the Heritage of Band of America, it is appropriate at this time that its accomplishments are acknowledged. Now, therefore, I, Lieutenant Colonel Ginger Annis, U.S. Air Force retired, veteran service officer, Alexander County, proclaim November 13th, 2012 to be United States Air Force Heritage of America Band Day in Tazewell, North Carolina, and take great pleasure in honoring the United States Air Force Heritage of America Band for providing the people of Tazewell and Alexander County, North Carolina, immense musical pleasure, and convey sincere and best wishes for continued success in musical endeavors. And it's signed, Ginger Annis, Lieutenant Colonel, U.S. Air Force retired, Veteran Service Officer, Alexander County. So here is the plaque that we would like to present to Colonel Warner. Thank you very much.
I will say personally, it's very nice to be back here in Taylorsville, on my part. As I mentioned a minute ago, we have a few extra new players on stage. They are members of the Alexander Central High School Band. They're going to perform with the band as we add something to the program. Please welcome them. I'll tell you more about them after the march, but please welcome them as they perform E.E. Bagley's National Emblem March. Jessica Sprinkle, and Taylor Milstead. On saxophone, India McWhorter and Sarah Jumper. On euphonium, Robert West. On trombone, Jonathan Bentley. Thank you guys very much. Need to get them to an Air Force recruiter. Next on our program is a tribute to those magnificent airmen and their flying machines. This was written by retired Chief Master Sergeant Larry McTaggart. It's a pretty dazzling version of that familiar tune. It's what our French partners, in fact, might call a tour de force. Please enjoy. There's a lot of moving parts in there, right? Just in case you're wondering, yes, you did hear the Star Trek theme. It's there. Especially in the month of November, we recognize military veterans and salute our national heritage. We continue that salute as we bring Sergeant Trimble back to the stage for the classic Boogie Woogie Bugle Boy. She'll be joined by a mind-boggling bunch of Boogie Woogie Bugle Boys, our entire trumpet section, and no American jazz, don't try that, man. No American jazz set would be complete without the music of Major Glenn Miller. We never could forget that Glenn Miller founded the Army Air Corps Band and paved the way for the Air Force bands we have today.
But he was
these, they don't happen through magic or anything like that. It actually takes a lot of preparation and coordination to get us all in the same room at the same time. I'm sure you realize that. I'd like to point out or recognize a couple of folks that did get us all here at the same time. We really appreciate their hard work in that respect. The Alexander County's Veterans Committee, Chief Ben Hines. Chief, thanks again. Dwayne Coley at the Alexander Central High School. Thank you very much. I just want to recognize one more time while we're doing that. That was an awesome honor guard we had tonight. Thank you very much. Our band students, that was great. Thank you for taking part in that. We really appreciate it. Sir?
Thank you for the privilege of sharing our music with you tonight. And this week, as we honor our veterans and military service and we depict that in our music, it's time that we'd like to salute the veterans. We're going to play the music from each of the branches of the armed service, and if you've served in that branch or your family served in that branch, stand and sing proudly and join us. And of course, at the end, for the Air Force song, we'll all be standing. Armed services veterans.
Thank you very much. We are so proud to see all of the veterans in the audience and family members of veterans. This next song we would like to dedicate to you. It's a beautiful piece that was recorded by Nora Jones for the Ken Burns documentary, The War. It's a beautiful piece that gives voice to the selflessness, sacrifice, and bravery of all men and women who have served in our armed forces. This is American Anthem.
You
As our concert draws to a close, I want to thank you for being such a fabulous audience. You always are, every time we come. And we thank you for your support of service members from all branches. Thank a veteran for their service tonight. We close with some of the most recognizable patriotic music ever written. Good night, and God bless America.
Love. Stand beside her. Thank you.